Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Legion of Raw. Man, this is the this show is every single week. We've never let you down. This show is better than Raw every single week, and we're going to continue that streak going because this week definitely was continued the streak. Vince. Let's continue this streak of being better than Raw, man. You ready?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Chris, I can't. I mean, with as I'm not even going to say bad. I'm going to say subpar. I'm going to start nice. With as subpar as Raw is, I don't know how we're able to go over an hour every week, honestly, because bro, we talked about it last week. Bro, this is a copy and paste show.
Oh yeah.
That's all it is, bro. It's copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Bro, you know what I want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
You know who's really screwed here, Chris?
Who's that?
USA Network.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what, Chris, it's their own fault. Because, bro, you can't give them a contract and they're going to make the same amount of money based on whether they draw 1 million people, 100,000, 10 or 10 million. You can't do that, bro, because if they're guaranteed X amount of dollars, okay, every single week, they're going to copy and paste to fulfill their obligation with the network. They got to fill 3 hours of every Monday, and that's exactly what they're doing. Bro, that's USA Network's fault.
Yeah.
Whoever negotiate, this should have been on a sliding scale, bro.
Yeah.
You hit this number, you make this much. You hit this number, you make that much. Because there is no incentive for WWE to make this show better. If I was the USA Network, I would be mad as hell. But I would know it's my own fault. And unfortunately, Chris, there's nothing they could do about it.
Nothing. I'm going to start calling this show B-Roll Raw because every single week I feel like I'm watching a B-roll. I just feel like whatever footage is in the back, just kind of pile it together, just do a mishmash and just throw it out there. I feel like I'm watching a B-roll every single week. There's nothing new. There's nothing innovative. You're really just patching things with people. There was one thing I liked about Raw, and we'll get to it later on. And so, well, I would say, I wouldn't necessarily say but I was intrigued. So we will get to it. Let's start off with Braun Strowman defeating Mason T-Bar. And so we're talking about B-rolls, and we're talking about just stretching segments. Every single week you're stretching segment after segment. So this segment stretches for 20 minutes. You're more of a time guy than I am. But when I was looking at it, it was 20 minutes in. Starts with, it's supposed to be a tag. They're in the gorilla area. And then that changes to, I could do it myself, and then Braun Strowman goes out. He gets a DQ. Somehow Drew still wants to save Braun Strowman despite him doing that. That changes to a Teddy Long tag team match. And then all of a sudden they lose by count out. Strowman gets upset. And then he power slams Drew McIntyre. Somehow that makes Verk very shocked. A running power slam. Like you can tell that he probably got kind of criticized backstage. Probably, Vince or Triple H or somebody was saying you need to show more expression, because we got more expression this week from Adnan, but it just still felt very contrived. So hopefully he gets in the groove of it, but it just felt very contrived.
Bro, this whole thing was to get 20 minutes out of the segment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this was for. All this crazy stuff you're talking about, Chris. But Chris, here's the thing, bro. I got to laugh at this. we open up with this T-Bar and Mask promo. Now they're wearing this makeup. Yeah. Bro, did they not look identical almost? Bro, who was the team that came in from NXT with the same makeup? Remember, bro?
The Ascension?
Yes.
Yeah. Bro, I was thinking about them.
Did somebody forget about what was it called? The Ascension?
Ascension, yeah.
Did somebody forget it? Because they wore the same makeup and they were dead out of the gate. So you're going to put the same makeup on these guys now to remind us of the other guys that were out of the gate. But this whole hot mess was to buy 20 minutes, bro. It was just to eat up 20 minutes. Bro, the name of it, what did you want to name this B-roll Raw?
Yes.
I want to name, I'm going to rename the show Eat the Clock.
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro, there used to be a show before your time. I remember it when I was a kid called Beat the Clock. I'm going to call
I used to be a game show network mark, and so they would play all the older game shows.
Beat the Clock?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
Show. I love to Beat the Clock, bro. Mm-hmm. Bro, this is called Eat the Clock.
Yeah.
And from seg 1, they start counting that down. Bro, I swear I would not be surprised if there is a giant clock down. Clock in Gorilla. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, bro? They're just looking at that. Go longer. We need another 4 minutes. Go longer. Go. Braun, chase him around the ring 4 times. Go long. I swear to God, bro, I think there's a giant countdown clock.
I can see it. I could see it, man. I could see it. And then it's the countdown clock, and the graphics guy has to stay on standby every single week.
Yes.
And so it's like he's getting ready for the B-roll. Let's see. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. You pinned them too fast. We got 5 minutes. All right, graphics guy, come on. Let's give me something about WrestleMania Backlash. Hurry up.
Yeah, play that clip from 3 weeks ago. Oh my God! But this is Eat the Clock. I mean, bro. Here's another thing. We never really talk about this, bro. After this, Drew goes to Pierce and he wants the match with, bro. Is there nothing booked on this show? Like seriously, bro. Like, is there nothing? Are we booked? What if Drew didn't want the match? Right. What are we going to put on during that time?
Yeah, I that's so funny that you said that, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, wait a minute. So we're either like card subject to change, like for real, seriously, or we really don't have anything planned for the night. Everything's just on the fly. So not only is it B-roll Raw, not only is it Eat the Clock Raw, but now it's also on the fly Raw. So
and bro, you know what's so bad about that, Chris, from a business perspective? Let me talk to Nick Khan here, who's taking over the company. Nick, let me explain something to you from a business perspective. Bro, you want stuff you could promote for next week.
Yes.
Like, this stuff needs to mean something so you have a jump going into next week. Yes. Look at the way this show ended. Why am I watching next week? There's no reason to watch next week. And when you keep making these matches on the fly this week, then what are you promoting for next week, bro? Yeah. That is a huge, huge, huge mistake that you guys make.
And then the things that they promote, like, they really think that it's going to cause people to say, oh, man, I've got to, like, no, I'm going to cancel dinner. I got a steak dinner for free. No, I'm going to cancel it because Rhea Ripley's going to team up with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tonight. Like, that was the promoted match. Oh, there's going to be a 6-person tag match. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, so is that really going to make me cancel my steak dinner tonight? Because Rhea Ripley's teaming up with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. What about the promotion of Raw that they've had either last week or today that's causing me to shift my day at all? And none of it has.
No, bro. It's amazing. And I was very, I haven't watched AEW in about 3 months, but I was very critical of them, bro, because everything was a 4-man, a 6-man, an 8-man. That's what this is turning into.
Oh, yeah, man. man.
I mean, you want to have one tag, maybe two, but I mean, bro, the 6-man, the tag, the 6-woman, like it's none of it means any, bro. No tag match, no 6-man, no 8 women. Those matches mean nothing.
Yeah,
zero, bro. Absolutely nothing.
Yep. Then we get Damian Priest. Speaking of 6-man, a 6-man tag. We get Damian Priest and New Day defeating Miz, Elias, and Riker. I mean, I like Damian Priest and New Day, but I mean, who's really going over here? I mean, like, what are we doing here? Are we stretching a tag feud between the New Day against Elias and Riker? I talked about that last week. Elias beating Kofi Kingston just to lose in a 6-man match, which they'll probably do a tag match, which is the reason why they didn't do a tag match this week. They wanted to make it a 6-man, so somehow they're still making the tag match fresh with Elias and Riker against the New Day, 50-50, as if anybody's going to care about this tag match. Did I miss a backstage segment? You're a backstage guy, man.
I'm gonna assume your back busted open.
Yeah.
You're leaking all over the place.
Yeah, man.
And you had to run to the toilet, so you missed this. That's
baby.
Assuming Dr. Chris.
What I miss?
We're gonna go right past the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't miss that.
Chris, I got to tell you something. This is a shoot. They open up the case and there's Rotten Tomatoes. Chris, I swear, I watch that and I think about, bro, how could I have ever pitched that to a talent? Like, how could I have ever told the talent, yeah, bro, you're going to go out there with a guitar case full of rotten. I can't imagine ever pitching that to a talent, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking, Vince, when I saw this. I was thinking circa 98, 99, 2000. I said, back in the day when they had the Austin driving the Zamboni and giving Vince McMahon a beer shower, Angle giving milk showers, that meant something. Mm-hmm. That meant something. That was a part of an angle that was already red hot, Vince, that just added another layer to a red hot angle. 20 years later, we get Rotten Tomatoes that adds nothing to an angle that is far from red hot. Like this is how far the mighty have fallen. A Zamboni driving Austin and Angle giving Vince and everybody else showers to Rotten Tomatoes. That's how far.
And bro, these are pros. They're pros. And that's how I would look at them. And I would never pitch anything like that to a pro.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and I can't get past like me having to pitch that.
And they were selling it too. They were barely getting hit by. I saw when Morrison, he had to, like, you have to sell that stuff. And that's the bad part about it. Like, they're slipping on the Rotten Tomatoes. And then I saw one of the time when Morrison barely got hit in the shoulder and he was like getting up and he like went down.
Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah. And I'm like, this is what they have to sell this? Like, you really have to. And what is this stretching? Like, this is what, like, we get the black goo, we get the green slime, and now we get the Rotten Tomatoes. Is this what Peacock wants? Is this what USA Network wants, Vince? Or are we getting the B-roll?
Bro, I'm telling you, USA Network has to be watching this show and they've got to be embarrassed. They've got to be embarrassed that this is on their network.
Especially on prime time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, bro.
Yeah, prime time. Like, this is prime time television. Throwing Rotten Tomatoes. This is it's starting to get worse. Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville walk in. They end up cutting an in-ring promo. Charlotte's
Chris, I didn't understand, and maybe I really wasn't sitting on every word, but what was the point of Sonya Deville being there? I did I miss that?
I guess she was trying to play kind of the heel authority role because she's usually exclusively on SmackDown.
She's on SmackDown. That's why I didn't understand. So, like, why was she? I didn't get it. I missed it.
So so I guess she's kind of. So Pierce did the suspension,
right?
And so I suppose that either they're going to expand this and have Deville be with Charlotte, or Deville's kind of playing the heel role to get Charlotte back. So that was the way to get out of the suspension.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, okay. Well, let's talk this through because we got to do an hour. Pierce, who oversees Raw, suspends Charlotte.
Yeah.
So
for hitting the ref.
Okay, for hitting the ref. So Charlotte goes and gets the GM from SmackDown?
Yeah, the assistant GM, assistant official. It's not even a GM. He's called a WWE official, and she's his assistant.
Okay, so Pierce is also on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is the first time Sonya's been on Raw.
Yes.
Hey, whatever.
She was never announced at all to be an authority figure at all on Raw. She was his assistant on SmackDown, exclusively to SmackDown. So Charlotte gets the assistant to Pierce, brings her on Raw to get Charlotte out of her suspension. They go backstage. Deville says, "Oh, I was trying to look for you." Pierce is upset. And there you go.
Chris, I'm speechless. I wrote it down for you, okay? I'm speechless. Okay. I'm gonna
riveting. It's riveting. It's riveting.
What the hell? Okay. All right. I got it now, Chris. Thanks for
riveting television. Riveting Raw. That's another gimmick.
Riveting Raw. Let me give you applause for explaining that to me. Thank you, Chris. Okay, I got it. Now. Thank you.
Yes. That's another gimmick for Raw. We've got what's all our gimmicks, Vince? We've got B-roll Raw, Eat the Clock Raw, On the Fly Raw, and now Riveting Raw. Yes.
Oh my God.
Raw has more gimmicks than Bray Wyatt does. So that's what
can I be honest with you for a second?
Yeah.
I'm talking about management now, not the bro. Listen, these are actors in a really bad play. So they're told throw tomatoes. You know, you're gonna go from SmackDown to here. It's not gonna make. They're actors in a bad play. Yeah. They're getting paid to play a part. They show up and do the part. So eliminate talent
for sure.
Seriously, bro. When this show is over, what does upper management think? What does Pritchard think? What does Hunter think? What do they think after sitting in that gorilla position and watching this show for 3 hours? What do they walk away with?
I get to go home making a lot of money by basically letting the fans know that this is a B-roll Raw. I don't, you made a good point about a week or two ago because I kind of was thinking the same. I mean, I kind of posed a similar question to you. And I was just thinking, like, for the sake of pride, you and I are both wrestling fans for 30 plus years. Okay. And so we've been through decades of what wrestling used to be. You were the head writer of the most booming period in WWE history. You understand the backstage. You understand how serious it was to be in Gorilla, to be in the meetings, to have every single drop of creativity ready to rock and roll because we have Nitro who's ready to eat us alive. Now there's nothing.
Chris, when something missed I am not kidding you, Chris. I am not exaggerating. When something missed, I did not sleep that night.
Mm-hmm.
I did not sleep, and I would play in my head over and over. Why did that not work? Why did that fall short? I would lose sleep. Bro, this whole show falls short.
Oh, yeah.
Not one segment, this entire show.
This whole era falls short, Vince. Like, this is not this has moved into, and I was thinking about, I've had these conversations before. Like, when did it start going south? And I might get heat for this. I'm a baby face, but I might get heat for this. I would say if I could pick one era, I would say that it's probably the start of the Cena era. I do, because it got to the point where, and Cena's a shoe-in Hall of Famer. I've interviewed 300 people, and all of them say hardest working man in the business. He deserves all kudos for what he should do. I mean, for who he is, as far as ethically, busts his butt, first one in, last one out. I got mad respect for John Cena when it comes to that. But I would say that around maybe like 03 or 04 era, like when it became like Super Cena, and he started to, I would say maybe 05, that's when he won the title first. Because when he was doing his Thugonomics thing, that drew some interest. But I would say maybe like 05, and it was like the beginning of Cena, and then it started to really get to like Super Cena, and he started getting booed, and it just really started going south to me around like after 05.
But listen, Chris, I did not watch during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said something very interesting, and I can almost back you up without having seen it. When you said in 2005 he started getting booed, okay, and they didn't listen to the people.
Yeah.
That you telling me that right there, because bro, that's Vince. That Cena's going to be a babyface, whether you like it or not. He's done it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
bro. When you don't listen to your fans, and just by you saying in 2005 they started booing Cena, and they did not make the adjustment.
Yeah.
That says a lot to me, bro.
He's been a babyface for 16 years, and I'm all for, people staying babyface if it works. Steamboat was never a heel, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like, it worked. He's a Hall of Famer. He was a babyface his entire career, as a performer. And so if it works, it works, right? And so, Dusty, he was a heel for, a lot of his Florida run, and then he turned babyface, and stayed babyface the rest of his career. It worked, if it works, it works. But at the same time, for Cena, it didn't work. It didn't work. And like, he won the title in 05. Shortly after, he started to get, within a year or so, he started to get booed, because people just started to get tired of him plowing through person after person after person. It was like Roman Reigns on steroids. Like, they tried to do the same deal with Reigns by keeping him babyface despite the fan reaction. And thankfully they turned him heel, and it was the best thing of his career. But they didn't do that with Cena. Yeah. And then people started to, the interest started to dwindle more and more and more and more and more. And so that's what if I could pinpoint when they just started to just dwindle, I would say around I would say maybe 05, 06 would be my take on it.
You got to listen to the people, bro. That's what the ratings are all about. That the ratings are telling you what they like and what they don't like, man. And if you don't follow that, then you're going to lose people.
Yeah. Michael's pointing out Tito Santana too, Hall of Famer, never a heel. Yeah, so I agree. If it works, it works, man. Like Rude, baby. You know, you won't see Rick Rude as a baby face, or DiBiase as a baby face. You know, if it works, it works. But you gotta be good at it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a good heel, stay a good heel. No need to turn you baby face. If you're a good baby face, stay it. You know, Hogan, for a decade of his career was successful as a baby face.
Yeah.
And then they realized that, okay, yeah, starting to get stale. And it built so much more equity in his career by turning in 96.
Yep.
Like he was towards, it was a thought that Hogan may have been toward the tail end of his career, because he was in there. He started in early 80s. At that time, he was there for a dozen years. Hulkamania was running wild, brother, for a dozen years. And, it was like, okay, well, he's on the tail end of his career. Because he turned heel in 96, that added another decade to his career.
About that, bro. I was there when Hogan, signed with WCW. And, bro, Vince McMahon at that time wanted Hogan to be like the Babe Ruth of the WWE. Wouldn't even consider him turning heel.
Yeah, he wanted to turn heel at 6 with the Warrior.
That's right. And Hogan was not ready for the Babe Ruth role.
Yeah.
He went to WCW, did the NWO thing, and he reinvented his career.
Yeah.
Vince was the same way, like he was with Cena. Nope.
Wow.
Hogan's a babyface.
Wow. Yeah, if he would have stayed babyface, his career would have been over late 90s. Early, maybe early 2000s, but I would say late 90s. I would say his NWO turn, it extended at least a decade in his career. And sometimes you have to listen to the pulse of the crowd.
Yep.
You got to make those decisions, to do those turns. Like we said with Roman, like his heel turn has added so much more equity to his character overall. And same thing he did with Hogan. And to this day, John Cena has not been a heel since 2005.
Yep.
So it's like, even before that, because it was around Survivor Series of 2004 is when he started turning. And so it's been 12 years, 13 years since he's, well, no, actually 17 years, 2004, 17 years since he's been a heel. So you got to know when you know, man, and you got to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Then we get Sheamus doing an in-ring promo. And this is something else. Vince, why do I care about Humberto Carrillo? Now, granted, he looks good. I wish he needs more meat on him. But he looks like he's gotten in real good shape. But what is it about Humberto Carrillo that I'm buying into? What about his character that I'm buying into?
We don't know anything about the guy. We know nothing about the guy. How can we care about somebody we know nothing about? Nothing.
No promos, no nothing. No nothing. And we talk about yesteryear, and it's like you get all the promos. I always say this, the 70-30 rule. Wrestling should be 70% of what happens outside the ring, 30% of what happens inside the ring. I should know about you before you step in the ring.
Absolutely.
The Razor Ramon promos, the NWO promos, although they were very well known, but like the all the promos, even TL Hopper, what I mean? Even those promos of people before they step in the ring. Waylon Mercy, when Danny Spivey was Waylon Mercy, it's like we knew so much about the person before they stepped in the ring.
Lazy. You
can't, like, graphics guy on his own standby, Vince.
Yeah.
Instead of regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over again, why don't you take a few of those moments and actually build a promo and vignette with somebody?
Bro, let's put Garza in the same category. Bro,
yes.
Do you remember when Garza, Cirillo, Andrade, and Vega, bro, they were carrying the show for a while. Remember?
Yeah.
Look at where they all are now. Bro, this is what we know about the Garza character from the first time he was introduced, well over a year ago. He gives girls flowers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I care about this guy because he gives – I want him to get his backside kicked because he gives women flowers. Okay, I got it. Same thing, man. Same thing, bro. But they don't care. We care more than they care. They don't care, bro. It's that simple. They don't care.
And I see this and I'm like, okay, so if there was actually an episodic television show that actually brought in characters that has no relevancy to the development of the weekly episodic story arc, why do we care about that part of the show? We don't care about that part of the show. You're not helping the story arc whatsoever, but you're still being inserted into the show. That doesn't.
You know what this is equivalent of. Here's what this is the equivalent of. Let's take Friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6 friends, and they meet in somebody's apartment every week. This is the equivalent of these 6 friends, bro, just having conversations every week.
Yeah.
We know nothing about them. We know nothing about their background. This one dated that guy. This one went to school with this one. We know nothing about their relationships with each other.
Yeah.
They just show up every Thursday and they talk at the coffee shop. That's what this is, bro. That's what this is.
100%. I was thinking about
you know what's amazing, Chris? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Chris, here's what's amazing. When you look at early television shows, you can tell where they really had nothing for a character, but then a very small role. But then when they saw that character start to gain popularity, they went with it. Bro, the perfect case in point was, bro, I'm because I'm a New York, Long Island, Italian guy. Everybody loves Raymond. Okay. Bro, you watch Raymond?
I used to a little bit. Yeah.
Well, bro, the early episodes with Brad Garrett. Brad was Raymond's brother, a cop. Bro, he didn't even talk. By the time the show ended, he probably had more TV time than Ray Romano. But that's what you do. Remember when Austin was the ringmaster, bro? Remember? Well, Austin talked and Austin did more, and now Austin's running the show.
Yeah.
These people have all done nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. Nothing.
I used to watch Martin a lot.
Yeah, I love that show, Martin. Yeah.
So they had a character called his name was Brudman from the Fifth Flow. Right.
Yes.
And they were saying, Brudman, what you doing? He would say, nothing, just chilling. He would come up. Right. And eventually Brudman was a big character on the show.
Of course.
And eventually got to the point that they would just pan to Brudman.
Yes.
And the crowd would, the sitting crowd would laugh and they would joke because they know that Brudman, this is his moment now. It went from just a very, very snap, very, very short appearance to now when it pans to Brudman, he's going to say something.
Bro, I guarantee you, George Jefferson and Wheezy were never supposed to be the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, bro. Maud, everything out of though they were not supposed. Bro, do you know freaking Robin Williams as Mork?
Yeah, Mork
out of Happy Days, bro. They were not, but that's the thing.
Same thing with Benson. It was a spinoff from Soap.
Yes, show us the personality, bro.
Yep.
But when you show us nothing, what is that going to turn into?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and it has the ability to develop. A lot of people are saying Steve Urkel on Family Matters. A million,
bro. A million circumstances, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the gimmick could work on its own, like for instance, right now you could tell, and I love when Dusty Rhodes. A lot of people who I interview would say Dusty Rhodes would tell people to maximize their minutes, right?
Yes.
And so if you got 1 or 2 minutes, there's a chance that you won't have it next week. All right.
That's
so as a character, you need to take that 1 or 2 minutes And you need to have people talking about that all over social media.
Yep.
One person who I'm going to give the utmost kudos to recently is Sami Zayn, because he's been doing that with his little dancing and things like that. Like, he didn't have to do that. So with the Logan Paul thing on SmackDown, he's got this thing now where he just does this really funny dancing when music come out. For instance, last week, Apollo Crews was going against Kevin Owens for the title. And then Commander Aziz comes out, does the Nigerian nail or whatever. I don't care about all that. But Sami Zayn was doing commentary. Apollo and Commander Aziz, which is Baba Tunde, the big guy from Raw Underground. So he goes out, they go out, they pan on them. Apollo Crews is hurting or whatever, because he gets stunned before Aziz gives him Owens the nail. The funniest part of that whole thing had nothing to do with the match. The funniest part of the match is when Sami Zayn maximizes minutes. He came from the commentary booth. He goes into the ring and he starts, from Apollo Crews' music, he starts dancing around Kevin Owens. And his dancing has gotten so popular that he's made t-shirts for it. And he's the proceeds goes to his charity to help people in Syria. And so he's maximizing his minutes. He's using his dance moves for profit. That's how you do it right there.
Bro,
man.
think about this. I'm going to go back to Rhea Ripley reading cue cards. Now, if I'm Rhea Ripley and this is live TV, I'm going to say, you want me to read
Yes.
cue cards? Why don't you take those cue cards and go wipe your backside with them?
Yes.
Bro,
yes.
That makes a star. But when you are so scared to death to go outside your lane, bro, you are depending on them if you're going to pass or fail. That's exactly what I would have done, and she would have been over huge. What, bro? They're going to slap her knuckles, when it's over. They're going to fire her. If she has enough confidence of who she is, that shouldn't matter to her. She should know, I could go work AEW, I can go work here, I can go work there, I can go back home, and whatever she wants to do. Something like that makes that character.
100%, because you know why? Because the WWE would dislike it, but at the same time, that going off the script would get coverage for Sports Illustrated. It'll get coverage for entertainment sites that wouldn't cover a regular Rhea. Rolling Stone would be writing about Rhea Ripley going off color as far as her promo is concerned, whereas a random week reading off your cards, they're not going to cover that. But if you do something controversial like that to maximize your minutes, you'll get all type. And I've been a journalist for a decade. I'm not going to write about a Rhea Ripley promo on the cue card.
Right.
I've written for Sports Illustrated. I've written for Fox Sports. If I'm going to write, I'm not going to write about a regular Rhea Ripley promo. But you bet your bottom dollar, I'm going to write about her going off script. And WWE is going to eat all of that pub alive. Don't do that again. But we did get Rolling Stone. We did get GQ. We did, we did get all these outlets covering that. So I guess it does help us.
So, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
We get So Carrillo gets an upper hand this week. So we're really going to get Carrillo versus Sheamus for the U.S. title.
Man.
The United States Championship, Vince. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Ricky Steamboat, Sting, Lex Luger. Carrillo. Carrillo. That's where we went. Harley Race. Like the legacy of that championship. I mean, again, it's like, he's got a bunch of potential, but I think he's just in the wrong spot. I mean, I think that he should be really, I'd be okay with him being on NXT, in the Cruiserweight division. Go for it. But the legacy of the United States Championship, and Sheamus, he looks like a legit champion, But Carrillo, though,
Chris, here's the problem, bro. We are sitting here with all our experience, and we're critiquing a show that they just don't care about.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? We're critiquing this, like, knowing they don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like so much of this stuff is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bro, if I was working for the WWE and I was listening to two people like us talk about this show, and that happened to be my job, I would be so embarrassed.
Yes.
I would be like, man, bro, like, is it really that bad? Because, bro, like, we are stating the obvious here, but it keeps going back to, bro, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't care.
I agree. And I know for a fact because, you know, Sportskeeda has an over 3 million person following, that there's a lot of people. WWE watches our shows. It's clear. Like, I know people in WWE and they watch shows with huge outlets.
Yeah.
Our outlets reaches over 3 million people. So I know for sure the WWE is watching, you know, what we're doing. I really hope that one of these days they'll listen. One of these days.
Know, bro, because I say this all the time. Chris, as a writer, I am very careful not to critique ideas, because, bro, we all look at it differently.
Yes,
we all have a different perspective. Somebody may like something, and another person may hate it.
Yeah.
It's all our perspective, but we're not talking about that here. We're talking about effort. Yeah. That's what I'm not talking about, you know, oh, bro, the rotten tomatoes was horrible. It was horrible, but that's the least of your problems. Yeah. We're talking about effort here, bro, not bad creative. We're talking about creative that doesn't care. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, my thing is this, Vince. There's a difference, and this is my psychology doctor coming in here. There's a difference between using the Rotten Tomatoes gimmick in an angle that has already been riveting. That's your word, riveting. That's the word of the day. That has been riveting every single week. And the Rotten Tomato just adds another layer to an angle that's already exciting to watch, right?
Yep.
There's that, and there's what we saw today. The Rotten Tomato gimmick did nothing to a storyline arc that has no buy-in. That's the thing. I mean, if this is WWE always talks about the longest episodic television show, So as you know, WWE is a weekly episodic television show. It is purposed to be a weekly entertainment show, episodic, a continual episodic television show, like Walking Dead, like Breaking Bad, like The Simpsons. And so if we, as the viewers, we need to have an episodic feel, we need to have a development, we need to have a story arc, and we need to have all this culminate to, you know, next week of the Legion of Doom, you know what I mean? Like the Justice League, right? We need to have all of that build up to the next week with the cliffhanger at the end. I don't see any of that. That's my issue.
Think about this, Chris. And again, this is another dinosaur, but think about this, Chris. Do you remember the soap opera?
Yeah.
General Hospital, All My Children, The Guiding Light.
Yep.
Chris, they had to move the story along on an hourly basis every day. Bro, this is a 3-hour weekly show that cannot move it along to the next week.
Yeah.
Bro, soap operas, dozens of them, hundreds of them did this from the beginning of time. 1 hour every day. We're moving it along because we're hooking you to keep watching it.
Yeah.
3 hours once a week, and you can't hit me, bro.
Yeah. True story, transparency moment here. I was a Guiding Light mark.
Yeah.
And I used to come home from school at 2:00, at 2:30, 2:45, and I would watch God and Light from 3:00 to 4:00. I would rush home.
Yeah.
And it was because my great grandma Jewel,
Yes.
she was a big fan of soap operas.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, it's soap operas, whatever. I'm not gonna. I end up watching God and Light one day with her because at 4:00 we're watching Global. We're watching AWA that was on ESPN back in the day, and then from 91 to 94 we're watching Global on ESPN.
Yeah.
And or Pressure Luck. That was my 3 shows: God and Light, Pressure Luck, and Global Wrestling Federation back in the early 90s. So we would watch. So I was like, you know what? I'm excited to watch Global. And so one of the days I was like, I'll watch God and Light. I'll just sit here and watch it just to lead me into Global. I watched God and Light, and I said, like, I was into it. I was so into it. And the cliffhangers what got me, Vince. If it was just a book-ended show, I wouldn't have watched it the next day. If it was just a start, stop, finish, no book, but it was no bookend. It was just turning the page, Vince. And
Chris,
it made me want to watch it the next day.
Chris, when I was in college, everybody was watching General Hospital. When I tell you Luke and Laura, that means something to you. Bro, I am talking about like student union halls packed.
Wow.
Rafters watching the TV.
Nice.
You can't do that in 3 hours. Like, what?
Right. Once a week. So we're talking about soap operas 5 days a week.
Yep.
So we have 5 hours of weekly television.
Yep.
Didn't feel dragged. The plots made sense. It was a story arc. It was a cliffhanger for the next day. Yep. For years, for 5 hours a day.
Decades and decades, bro.
Every single week, I feel like Raw is bookended.
Yeah.
And so, like, because Raw is bookended every week, it doesn't cause me. And I say this again. If that one episode of God and Light was bookended, I would not have watched it the next day.
Yep.
But because instead of it wasn't a bookend, it was just simply turn the page and see what happens tomorrow.
Then, look at. And then, Chris, keep in mind they turn those daytime soap operas into nighttime soap opera.
Yep.
Alice.
Yep.
Dynasty, bro. Those shows were iconic.
Yep.
Episodic. Who shot JR?
Who shot JR? Yep.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
Bro, that's why, Chris, you got to say, when we say who shot JR, you got to say, why can't they do that here? The answer is they can do it here. They don't care to.
Yeah,
that's the answer, bro. They don't care. They don't care to do it.
Yeah, and they can do it, and they have done it. They have made it exciting during the Attitude Era, when Austin and with the Austin and Vince feud. It didn't feel booking it. It felt like I had to watch it the next week, and that's how it was. So they have the capacity to do, they have the capability to do it. Again, it goes back to B-roll Raw, Vince.
Yep.
They're getting the money hand over fist. Just throw out the B-roll, and no matter what we present, we're not going to get a single penny less.
Yep.
So why should we put the work in?
Exactly.
Why should we spill out our creative juices as if our life depended on, as if our pride depended on it? Because Nitro on the other show is ready to just totally annihilate us. We have no competition. We have AEW as a distant second, which there's no head-to-head there. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing now.
Nope.
Yeah, nothing at all. We get Bobby Lashley with MVP cutting an in-ring promo. Yeah, I mean, setting up for WrestleMania Backlash. Now, this is the thing that I liked, that I was intrigued, and I was like, "Huh, okay." I'm intrigued with the RK Bro stuff. I like Riddle. We talked about this a lot, but it was to me, every week his segments start to get the same over and over and over and over again. But I think at the end of the day, Orton is going to build the trust of Riddle. And in a few weeks, he's just going to pop with an RKO. I think that's what's going to happen. But at least there's some development to work our way to that. And Orton was like, I like the strange bedfellows look, feel. They won. Orton's like, no, I'm not playing the gimmick now. I'll consider it. I'll consider the snakeskin, gear. And so I think the dynamic of like super serious, very straight face, and his dancing with the super goofy Riddle, it's causing some intrigue to me.
I'll tell you what I didn't like about it, Chris.
Okay.
I am a firm believer in we have to be true to the character.
Yeah.
We've got to be true to the character. Now, here's what I did not like about it from a writing perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Orton has RKO'd everybody and their mother and their wife and their daughter and their sister. He has RKO'd everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. At that spot at the end of the match, Randy Orton would 100% without a shadow of a doubt have RKO'd Riddle. Without a shadow of a doubt, bro.
Yeah.
Riddle, the story would have to be that Riddle did something endearing or a save or something. Mm-hmm. He did, bro. You know what I'm going to compare this to? Austin saving Stephanie.
Definitely, yeah.
He hated Vince McMahon, but Steph, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So in order to escape the RKO, in my opinion, as a writer, it would have had to been something endearing, something to show an ounce of, shoot, Orton kind of likes this guy. That promo was not enough. Bro, no. we could have RKO'd him and gotten to the spot where a month from now he's not RKOing him. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, I think you hurt Randy Orton's character because, bro, he RKO'd Beth Phoenix and
exactly.
I mean, come on, bro.
RKO'd Steph.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you could have built to that spot to make it mean something like, wait a minute. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like that. I think if they're trying to do, because we have to think about everything from a microwave standpoint when it comes to Raw. And so I'm lowering the bar, thinking it from a microwave standpoint. Now, I think you should make between May, June, July are the kind of the off months, for WWE. There, it's like you January to April, it's WrestleMania season, Royal Rumble. And then, kind of like that July, August is leading up to SummerSlam, which is leading up to Survivor Series, which is leading up to Royal Rumble, right? Right after Mania, like that May, June, July kind of spring, summer, season, you kind of have like the minor pay-per-views. You're not really, spending so much time building up to like a major field. I think this is the time to really spend the time in the weeks building up this Orton Riddle thing. If you really want to do it, they should do it, right? And this is a good time to do it, to make us intrigued every week during this kind of slower season. And so I think what they should have done is, if Riddle beats Orton, because there's been a lot of reports saying that Orton was supposed to feud with Strowman, and there was some switches and things like that, and Orton actually wants to work with Riddle, which is interesting. And so he's clearly he wants to work with him if he just lets him beat him like that. I mean, that's clear. And so, yes, I kind of get respect because you beat me. Now, what Riddle should do is he should be like, he should understand that every week I'm susceptible of getting an RKO out of nowhere. I'm susceptible of getting an RKO out of nowhere. And so I would like be ready. Like if I was Orton, I'd be in the position every single week. And then Riddle, he kind of catches me from the side and kind of gets away. I wouldn't have. One thing I didn't like the hugging when they won, or Riddle trying to hug. I'm like, dude, RKO. I'm like that's what you would do.
Right.
But I would have a ready position every week from RKO, from Randy Orton to say, okay, should I do it? Should I do it? And Riddle was like scared of that. So eventually he earns the trust and respect of Riddle. And then one week, he's like, nope, I'm not in the ready position anymore. And that doesn't mean that Riddle lets his guard down, but he's like super shocked, like, whoa, like I didn't catch him from the side of my eye, like ready to strike again. And then eventually I think this goes 2 or 3 months out. And this is kind of like a writing with Russo on Raw. I think this goes 2-3 months out. And eventually what you do is you have the time where it kind of peaks up when Riddle earns the most trust. Boom, that's when you strike, and that's when Orton, that's when he does strikes with the RKO. I think you could have built it up something like that, but I think this really could be a weeks, couple months, really, if they spend the time. Yeah. We get oh gosh, I was excited talking about the Orton Riddle thing, and then we get another 6-man, another 6-woman tag match. Ripley's a heel now. She was a heel, then she kind of turned against Asuka, and she turned face again because she wanted Asuka to win, helped her win against Charlotte, but now she's a heel again, teaming with the 2 biggest heels on Raw, and they beat Asuka, Naomi, and Lana. At the end of this match, I said, "Who's over here? Like who's over?" Because essentially, you want to make a credible contender, and you just basically made Naomi and Lana no longer credible. And Asuka, someone who you should build the most, she doesn't look credible at all at the end of this. And I'm like, who are you trying to build here? I did not understand that whatsoever.
Bro, I thought this match was awful.
It was horrible.
I think, bro, I don't like to critique wrestlers in their in-ring work because I'm not a worker. But when I watch Rhea Ripley, she's working. She's waiting. You could see her grab. Yeah. It's not fluid and smooth, bro. Yeah. Yeah. You could see her working, and I'm like, I guess the height, the look, she's Australian. I guess she's got a lot of unique things working for her, but the work in the ring is so telegraphed.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot left to be desired when it comes to her work, which again is surprising to me because it seemed like she worked a lot better when she was in NXT, but I think it might be the jitters.
She's probably feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I think that's
probably she does it. Bro, you can't compete when your mindset is I don't want to F up. You can't compete like that, Chris. You just can't. And I guarantee you that's what this woman's going through right now.
I agree. And she keeps cutting her hair more and more and more. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I used to be a big Rhea Ripley fan, but I'm just like, I don't know the look. There's just a disconnect to me now.
Yeah.
Lily, your favorite character gets over. Everybody has their own Lily. Look into this. Say this with me. There's peace. Lily scares you.
I did all that because I was like, wait a minute, am I going to get like hypnotized? So like I did the whole thing. I was saying it along with her. Yeah. She said, look in her eyes. I'm looking in her eyes. Yeah. Then she said, make believe you're here. I was daydreaming, and there was no payoff. I'm like, what? thought I was going to get hypnotized on something pretty cool, bro. This is so blatantly. We don't have a clue what to do with Alexa. Like this is so blatant.
It feels like that.
Like we don't know. Give her a promo with Lily, and
will we see Alexa Bliss versus the Fiend?
No, Fiend's dead.
Fiend's dead.
He's dead. Fiend's dead. Done. He's done. He's done, bro. He's done. Done.
Oh my gosh.
Fiend's done. So it's done. It's done. She literally replaced the Fiend. He's done. He's finished.
Oh my goodness. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlotte Flair defeating Mandy Rose.
Bro, you know what I was doing at this match, Chris? And I was live on Twitch and I was giving you all the credit in the world.
Thank you, man. I'm
so bored with this show at this point. Okay, now I'm counting down like the last 30 minutes. I do a countdown, bro.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait. I was trying to see where the hair ends and the extensions begin.
Okay.
This entire match. That's what I was trying to do, bro.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. I like it. Did you notice anything?
I noticed like Mandy's. This was weird to me, bro, because part of her hair was very short.
Yeah.
Like extremely short. Mm-hmm. And then it went from extremely short to way long.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, bro. But
you can tell there's like certain parts where it ends.
Yes.
And they try to blend it in.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it don't.
Oh, no, bro. You could tell her hairline is the bottom of her neck.
Yep.
You could see that as clear as day.
Yep. Exactly.
Thank you for that, Chris.
My pleasure, man. Braun Strowman beats Drew McIntyre. He's in the match now, triple threat.
Wait, before we get even to that, like, where are we going with Charlotte arguing with the referee? Like, where are we going with this? With a referee? Like, is she going to wrestle a ref? Like, where are we going with this?
It doesn't make any sense. What I see is they're trying to overemphasize Charlotte being a heel. That's what it seems like. But they don't need to do that. I mean, I just don't see why they're adding in the ref with the. It just doesn't make it right now. It just seems like they're really trying to grasp for anything and everything they possibly can to make something work. But again, it feels like a B-roll.
If you think you're better than everybody else, you're a heel.
You're a heel. Exactly.
This refs. I just wrote here, she argues with ref - stupid. It's just freaking stupid. It's silly, bro. It's stupid. I don't know why you're doing this for.
Yeah, no payoff. At the end of the day, this means nothing. It seems like they're just trying to buy time every week. And that's what it feels like. Instead of the whole episodic feel, it feels like, okay, so right now we kind of want to use Drew here. So we're just going to put Mason T-Bar here, just kind of feel this. We want to use Charlotte here. So we're just going to put the ref here to just kind of feel this a few weeks. We want, Lashley here, so we're just going to put Riddle here for a few weeks to feel this. We want Sheamus here, so we're just going to put Carrillo here for it just feels like just patches of things that you're trying to fill up every single week to just kind of throw a match on the pay-per-view. Yeah. Like it feels patchy. Yep. It doesn't feel fluid at all. It just feels patchy.
And bro, it's like I would even like be less critical on the patchy if there was the one main story.
Yeah.
You've got the one main story that's got me hooked and interested. Then try your patches. See if Cirillo gets over. See, but it's lacking that one story, bro. Yeah. So it's like you said, bro, without that one story, then everything is patchy. It's like throwing everything at the wall, bro. Yeah. You gotta give me something, man.
I agree. 100%. And that's how sports work. You have the main event. You have the oh gosh, what's the Irish MMA guy's name?
McGregor.
Conor McGregor, yeah. So you have Conor McGregor, you have Ronda Rousey when she was there. They had personalities, so whoever they went against, people are going to pay to see it because their personality stood out so much, especially Conor McGregor's. So it doesn't matter who he went against. Muhammad Ali is the same way.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you went against. You came to see the character of Muhammad Ali, the character of Ronda Rousey, McGregor, who else?
Bro, that goes back to Bruno.
Yeah.
That goes back to Bruno.
Absolutely.
We went from Bruno, then we went to Hulk, then there's always that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like whoever, I don't care. And even, people crap on Hogan, but Hogan in the 80s, people paid to see
Absolutely,
Hogan,
bro.
who was the underdog.
Absolutely.
He made heels relevant. He made Earthquake relevant. He revived, he made Bundy, a main event player. He made Stud a big player. He made, of course, Andre was a big name in itself, but he didn't have that. He was winning battle royals for 15 years, but he made Andre that heel. And Andre was a babyface for most of his life, being the star attraction in battle royals. He made Andre look like, and he had that underdog feel, the jerk in the chain, Heenan as the mouthpiece. That is what we paid to see.
Yep.
And it's like, it was the characters. Hogan knew how regardless if you want to crap on Hogan or not, he had the psychology to make himself look like an underdog. Dude is 6'6".
Well,
300 and some odd, 320 pounds, but he still felt like an underdog.
Chris, there was Hogan and everybody else.
Yeah.
This is going back to Triple H telling Ryback, nobody's going to be bigger than the W. You're right. You're right. And what has that done for you? What has 100%. That done for you, bro? We're all even, bro. It's an even playing field. There is no Hogan. There is no Cena. Yeah. What has that done for you?
Yeah, and I think that right there, when Ryback, made that public, that Triple H said that after Cena, he told Ryback, after Cena, no one else is going to transcend the business. That's what he told Ryback.
Yep.
And that's why everybody feels 50-50.
Yep.
For those who don't believe we're telling the truth, there was a Writing with Russo episode. Go to Sportskeeda's YouTube. Go to Writing with Russo. There was an episode that I pull out the stats, and we go through wrestler after wrestler after wrestler after current wrestler, and we found out statistically that a large chunk, including Charlotte Flair, literally have percentages in the 50s.
Yep.
So 50-50 is a shoot. It is a real thing.
Yep.
And so it's like, and then we went to like Hogan, which was 80%, Austin was 70%. And so because their characters were being built so much, they won matches because their character, it makes their character even stronger. It makes them even stronger when they're winning matches. But all this 50-50 stuff, it happened during that Ryback era. We don't want anybody to transcend the business. We don't want someone to look like a big star. So everybody's going to feel 50-50. Everybody's in the same boat. It feels like that.
Yeah, and bro, if it's like I was under the understanding that Drew was now going to chase Lashley. That was my understanding.
Yeah.
Bro, you just beat the guy.
Yeah.
You just beat Drew.
Twice. He lost twice in one night, Vince. He lost the tag match count out, and he lost the singles match.
Bro, again, if I'm like, okay, Steve, you're chasing Taker.
Mm-hmm.
And on this show, you're going to lose twice.
Exactly.
He would think I'm ripping him, bro.
Okay, Austin. So this is what I got for you. I want you to. You're chasing for the WWE title this week. Last week, I know that you didn't look real strong. I get it. Some things going on with Mankind. I get it. But this week, I want you to lose against Furnace and LaFon in the beginning of the show. And then at the end of the show, I want you to lose to Mankind because Mankind's going to be a part of the triple threat match with you now. So Austin's going to look at you and be like, oh, okay, Vince. No, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He's going to protect his brand like everybody else is scared to do nowadays.
Yep.
And he's gonna say no. He's gonna have something to share. So
yeah.
Let him know about the brand, my man. Speaking of brand.
Yeah, guys, 2 platforms, russosbrand.com or patreon.com/RussoTWC. Bro, we start these platforms at like 75 cents a week. You'll get 12, 15 people from the business, the beautiful people, Stevie Ray, Disco Inferno, Shane Douglas, Justin Incredible, Dutch Mantel, Kevin Sullivan. The list goes on and on and on and on, starting at 75 cents a week.
Very nice. You have your own promotion of talent. You should start the VWO.
Vince World Order.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Right.
Yes.
I like Eat the Clock better.
Well, we're not. I'm never going to compare the brand to Raw. Come on now. I'm never going to compare the Russos brand to Raw.
Bro, I swear, even when like sometimes like if I'm tired or if I'm doing 90,000 podcasts a day, like, you know, every once in a while, I will say after a show, man, that show really sucked. Do these guys ever say that? Like, is that ever said at the WWE? Ever, bro?
Yeah. One of these days, we got to talk about like how it felt at a post-Raw meeting, you know, and compared to what we think a post-Raw meeting looks like now,
man.
You know. And so, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone. This is yet another episode of Leads in a Raw. Have a good night.